Yo, what's going on? This is your boy Big Rich with D-Dot's Producers Corner, video tutorial episode 12, you know what I'm saying? And today we just gonna talk about how you can take virtual software instruments and, you know what I'm saying, put those into your modern production. Now, what I mean by that is there's a lot of virtual instruments out there that have realistic sounds. And what I mean by that is, I'm gonna give you an example today. What you see in front of you, which is the Toontrax Easy Drummer. And what this is a virtual instrument that sounds like the real deal. And what I mean by the real deal is this. You know what I'm saying? You get that effect, you know, and that's my keyboard controller that y'all hearing with the, this kind of sounds like the actual kick pedal going on right there. But, you know, if I click on, you know what I'm saying, each drum cowbell right there. I mean, you're getting the realistic sound. Now, I have worked with drum kits and miking drum kits, and I have to say, this is about the closest you're gonna get far as a VST is concerned. Now, I know a lot of people say there's a lot of them out there. You have the BFD and stuff like that, and I agree. You know what I'm saying? Each one of these VST instruments that mimic, you know what I'm saying, drum kits and, you know, they sound realistic, but to me, just me, I think Toontrax products, they on point, man. And you go to their website and you can watch a video on each of their drum kits. And I have most of them far as the EZX series are concerned. I have all 12. Not all 12, not all of them, but I have 12 of them. The Pop Rock, Americana, Classics, Classics 4, Mike, Claustrophobic, Cocktail, the Clyde and the J-Bo, Funkmaster Edition, Jazz, Metalheads, Latin Percussion, and Vintage Rock. And I got all of those because I can, you know what I'm saying, I make my music in all of those different type of genres and using, you know what I'm saying, different drum sounds. And I have to tell you, man, these drums sound so realistic. Now, the only thing about these drum kits are that you can't do internal processing on the drums. All it is pretty much drum levels, adjusting the drum levels and the pans. You have to do all the drum processing in your DAW that you're using, but you can use the faders. Everything is kind of routed to, you know what I'm saying, as far as you got the room mics, you got a vinyl and a reverb and stuff like that, and so forth and so on. And it, you know, so that's what it is. But today, pretty much going to show you what I did with a beat, and then how you can take what you do with this particular instrument and take it to the next level. Okay, so I'm just gonna hit play and watch what I did with this particular drum kit with the Funkmaster's J-Bo kit right here. Now, as you see, I got a hi-hat and a ride, crashes, and toms. Watch. And I'm gonna bring all the rest of the instruments in. And bring the other two in right here. Now, as you notice, the drums blend in good, you know what I'm saying? They blend. Excuse me, they blend in good. And the other drums that I'm using is the F Expansion Geist drum machine. Just got a regular kick and a clap, sample kick and a clap from the Kanye West drums kit. All right, and bring in the Easy Drum. And see how it sounds more modern? Just using, you don't have to use the whole kit. If you just need that real hi-hat feel, and the crash and the toms, that's all you need to do. So you blending in modern production and then kind of a sort of a real kind of like that realistic sound to your drums and stuff like that. Now, you may listen to that hi-hat and say, well, you know what I'm saying, it sound too hi-hat-ish. It don't sound like a real hi-hat that I would use, let's just say, in the MPC or Fruity Loops or anything like that. Okay, well, pretty much all you have to do is just EQ that. Okay, so let's just hit play again. All right, now what we're gonna do, you hear that hi-hat? I'm gonna go to the mixer. We're gonna solo the hi-hat. So we just got our F expansion Geist, which is this bad boy. All right, we got that kick and the clap going on, and we got the easy drummer. We got the hi-hat solo. Okay, now we're gonna jump into the EQ. All right, now I ain't gonna use no special EQ. I'm just gonna use the EQ out of Ableton Live. Okay. Now this is where you can go in and make that hi-hat sound like a modern hi-hat. All right, let's get in. So the first thing you probably want to do, okay, I like that drop too. Now we're gonna solo the hi-hat. Now you hear all that. If you hear that sound, this is a picture of a real hi-hat, and it's kind of like two cymbals, you know, kind of like a smaller version of cymbals, but they're linked together, and you know what I'm saying, when you press down on the pedal, you know what I'm saying, it goes together like a clap, but it's pushing a puff of air, and that's what you're hearing. And watch. You hear that? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of mimicking, you know, that foot pedal going. You know what I'm saying? So let's take that out. That's the first thing you want to listen to. You want to get rid of that puff, right? All right, cool. So all I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take that second band. I'm gonna boost it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the second band, I'm gonna boost it, and I'm gonna find where that puff at. All right, so we kind of figure it's around the 250 hertz mark right there. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna narrow my Q band width all the way down. We're gonna find it that way. Now you hear that annoying sound right there? Now adjust your Q band width to a smaller value again, to where we had it, which was a 0.7. Now you hear that puff. All right, cool. Now we got it boosted at 15 decibels. We're gonna bring that down back to 0. All right, and we're gonna cut. And all we're doing when we're cutting, we're reducing that puff. All right, now we're on the second band, so I'm gonna bypass the second band and watch the difference. That's without it. That's with it. All right, now we're working in the 250 hertz. Actually, we started at 252 when we narrowed our Q band width all the way to 18 of a value. We actually found that resonant value that was annoying. So when we brought the Q band width back to 7.7, you know what I'm saying, we brought the decibels back down to 0, and then it did a cut until we liked it with our ears, right? Cool. Now, in this case right here on the one band, you could either bring up the low band, everything else kind of like sort of, you know, we in a Q band mode right here in the first band. But to me, I don't need anything else after 250 hertz. You know, that's my taste. Other people might do a little different, but that's just moi. Why? Because we're working with a kind of like a R&B-ish, hip-hop-ish type of beat, you know what I'm saying? So we really don't need that low end. We really don't need that realistic. I'm trying to get more of a hip-hop sound, you understand what I'm saying? So I don't need anything after 250 hertz. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a low-pass filter on that first band, and we're gonna bring it back to 35 hertz all the way to 30 hertz, shall I say, and we're just gonna cut until we like it. So I'm hit play again. Now I can live with that. I can actually push it to the extreme because I still hearing that puff. You understand what I'm saying? So let's push it to the extreme. Bring it back down. So I like that right there. I'm about 351 hertz. So we cutting everything. Everything below 351 hertz is gone. We ain't hearing it. It's gone. Not a mucho. That's why we call it the no, I'm sorry. I called it a low pass filter before. It's a high pass filter, folks. I'm so sorry about that. We're letting all the highs. Everything else, you know what I'm saying, above 351, it's gonna go about it. I'm sorry about that. It's a high pass filter. Excuse me, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. So we like that right there. So let's bring back everything else and let's just see how it gels with the Geist, the Kanye West drums. Sounds better. Now let's bypass what we did on the hi-hat. 5, 6, 7, and bypass. Now you hear it and it still sounds good, but it sounds too realistic for modern production, right? Okay, let's pop that EQ back in. See how it sounds like an actual hi-hat? Something like you would find in a modern drum kit. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty cool right there. All right, so let's see what else we can do with this particular hi-hat. We still got some of that, somewhere in that low mid range, we still hearing that. So let's find that out. So let's use the 3-band EQ. We're gonna again boost all the way up. That's high EQ, man. I boost all the way up. We're gonna go right here. Let's actually drop it to 9 value for the Q bandwidth, and we're just gonna start sweeping frequencies right there where we stop with the low with the high pass filter. All right, so let's go. And the whole purpose of this is trying to find that ignoring stuff, the stuff you can't stand in the sound. Now you hear that right there? That's kind of like a boxy sound. It's a little too open for me. Okay, so pop that out of that 3rd band. You hear it? It's amplified. Cool. You got it amplified. Let's bring that back down to 0 and let's start doing a cut. Now, notice what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep my Q bandwidth at 8.9 and I'm still gonna cut. Okay, let's go. And let's widen out our Q bandwidth now. So it's at 0.6. All right. So let's pop that out, the whole EQ, and let's listen to it again. And when you're EQing, you're going to be doing a lot of bypass, unbypassing and stuff like that. So that's the annoying thing about it. Okay. And let's bypass it again. All right, and all I'm doing is just bypassing. All right, cool. A lot of people, when you actually dealing with real drum sounds, you can put gates on it to reduce some of the excess noise out of there, and you just want to have that electronic signal. I'm not gonna explain gate because that's a whole nother tutorial. I'm gonna get off focus. But pretty much, I could put a gate on here to shorten up the hi-hat to just focus on that hi-hat sound. But to me, we're dealing with an R&B beat, and I like that. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pop in some more little EQs. I'm just gonna pop in 2 more. Okay, now I'm gonna focus on this 4-band, and let's listen to what we need to enhance. Now you got enough attack right there, right? So pretty much all we need to do is just bring up the high end. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use a high shelf. But before we use the high shelf, I am going to, again, bring up the 18 value again, boost my signal, and I'm gonna find out where the high frequencies start, okay? So I'm gonna start from 22,000 hertz, and I'm gonna find out where the high frequencies start. All right, now y'all listen to this 5.08 thousand hertz right here. Listen to that sound at a 18 Q bandwidth. See how it sound like a whistle? That's actually, you know what I'm saying, you got the resonance, you know what I'm saying, going on right there. So that kind of lets you know that, hey, that's where some good high frequencies start. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna bring it back down to 7.7. I like this Q bandwidth 0.7, working with that. It gives more of a musical tone when you're EQing and stuff like that. I'm gonna switch it over to our high shelf, and we're just gonna boost. Yeah. And all I'm doing is right now is just boosting the taste, but I don't want to go no more than 3.5 decibels. So 3.1 right there is pretty good for the decibels. So let's bypass. Now that's our hi-hat we had before. Now this is the hi-hat we EQ'd. See how more bright and detailed it sounds? More modern. Okay. And bypass. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna mute the Geist. Hi-hat bypass. And this is what we did. Bypass. And bring in the Geist. And I'm gonna unsub. Now remember, I got the EQ on, you know what I'm saying, all the other instruments and stuff like that. I haven't routed this particular VST, the Easy Drummer, to individual tracks. And if I wanted to do that, all I got to do is go right here on multi-channel, and it's gonna automatically route audio, different audio outputs to each one of these channels on the Easy Mixer. But for right now, everything is going out through on track 1 on one instrument. So I'm just gonna leave the hi-hat solo, and I'm gonna bring in all the other instruments in this particular beat. Now before we do that, we have the EQ hi-hat, but notice something else. Now if we did a lot of cutting in this particular on this particular sound, we probably would have boosted. Okay, so we did a lot of boosting on the high shelf, so we really don't have to make up the gain on the EQ. Okay, I just wanted to point that out. So let's bring everything back in. All right, and let's check out the beat. Now, by the way, this beat is not mixed, so that's why the drums sound real small. I just did this like maybe an hour ago. Okay, so I'm gonna play the beat back again. Just that's a little forewarning. Alright, now what we're gonna do, we're gonna bypass that EQ. See how muddy it sounds? And bring it back in. And bypass the hi-hat. Bring it back in. Bypass, and that's pretty much how the hi-hat sounds. You actually see when we bypass that particular hi-hat, how it had that natural tone, but it was more of a darker tone, and you really couldn't hear the sizzle on the hi-hat, and you really couldn't hear the attack on the hi-hat. So all we did was we took off the poof out of the hi-hat, because that really wasn't the main problem, but it's problematic when you start pushing volumes and start doing dynamic processing and stuff like that. In the further process of the mix, you're gonna bring out more of that poof, 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 and it's gonna be real aggravating, you know what I'm saying? And we just did a little simple high shelf boost. That's the only thing we really boost in this particular sample, you know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of folks might say, well, you know, you EQ that kind of funny and dumb and, you know, the wrong way. Well, different genres of music have different ways you should EQ certain sounds. Seeing as how this is kind of like a R&B-ish / hip-hop-ish type of sound, we really can manipulate the sound however we want. You understand what I'm saying? But that's just a little tutorial right there on how you can, you know what I'm saying, take, you know, realistic sounding drum kits from VSTs or regular or real drum kits, and you just do EQ. Just simple EQ. I hadn't did anything else but just simple EQ. You know what I'm saying, just to bring out the drum sound to make it fit in the modern production. So again, I'm gonna play this beat. It's a pleasure being with y'all, showing y'all little, you know, simple production tricks when you're making your beats. Before I get out of here, I want to give a shout out to D-Dot's Producers Corner Cast, starting with the host D-Dot, you know, the co-host Trey, multi-platinum producer, co-host Mr. Lee, and myself. I want to give a shout out to the Joint Chief of Staff's Productions. Salute to y'all, and in the whole Icebreaker Radio fam, salutes to y'all. If y'all got any more questions, you know what I'm saying, hit me up on my email, you know what I'm saying, coxbeats08@gmail.com, and y'all can follow me on Twitter, and that's @BigRich, BIGRYCH, and make sure y'all check out the website www.jcsproductions, drop the S, replace it with a Z.com. You know what I'm saying? This is another D-Dot's Producers Corner. I'm gonna play this beat, and y'all enjoy y'all day. Holla. Yeah.